tension in France is increasing. Tax revolts have been erupting all across the country. People seem to be fed up with tax increases. President Hollande is at a record low in opinion polls of just above 20% of positive opinions. There were talks recently about changing the Prime Minister, Jean-Marc Ayrault. In France, the Prime Minister is a practical fuse. When the policy of the President and the Prime Minister is not popular, very often the President changes the Prime Minister. We'll see what happens, but in any case, the situation today is not of the responsibility of the Prime Minister, because Francois Hollande is the final decision maker. The Prime Minister is just a fuse, again, and that's actually a huge anti-democratic element in the French Republic. With this sort of a fuse system, no one is accountable or responsible for the government policies. So this lack of accountability and responsibility at the top of the executive power is actually one of the reasons for the a huge amount of public spending in the country, and for the deficits that we have. Also combined with the fact that the parliament is really not controlling the administration as it should in a functioning democracy. Now, the Commission in Brussels accepted the French budget, but it added that the government had no margin. Indeed, the problem today is that it's not able to increase taxes anymore, given the popular resentment against them, and it's not able to reduce public spending, because the other solution to balance budgets is actually to reduce public spending. Actually, the government communicated on spending cuts, but it really is a decline in the growth trend of spending, not a decline in spending itself. We have 57% of GDP in public spending in the country, which is unsustainable level for the private economy to pay for. It means higher taxes that stifle both investment and consumption, higher social contributions that increase labor costs, and all of this is obviously generating unemployment in the private sector and is actually a long-term growth killer. The problem today regarding the spending cuts is that if many French people agree that we should reduce public spending, they do not agree on what should be the first item to be reduced, and they obviously prefer that public spending that concerns others be reduced first. So consensus is nearly impossible. We really have the consequence of what we call the so-called French social model that is at the same time corporatist and centralized. You know, each social corporation negotiating its little social or tax privileges with the central government. In fact, the recent current tax revolts are not essentially against global taxation, but against specific taxes that affect such or such corporation. If you will, there's no horizontal dialogue across civil society. It's actually been a tactic of the dirigist state for decades or probably centuries to divide and rule. But the problem today is that it has created a society of mistrust with no serious dialogue across social corporations and civil society. And the issue today is, how do you reform public spending in such a society? So that's a big structural problem that markets and rating agencies will soon realize.